Yeah, the title of this chapter, I Can't Stay a Child, fits really well with manga Deku. Whoa, this chapter is one heck of a chapter. I kid you not, this chapter really hit me hard, and a lot of it has to do with Deku right now and what led him to take this route the last few chapters. From where we are right now, manga Deku is completely different to the anime Deku right now. That's why I review what happened in this chapter and get my thoughts on it. So the chapter starts off with Deku leaving the scene of the fight between him and Muscular. And not just that, but two students from Getsubetsu Academy, who we've seen before during the provisional license arc, make their brief reappearance looking up at the sky, seeing Deku flying with Muscular apprehended, and we see Tatami and knocked out Shindo in the same place they were from the last chapter. Tatami looked up at Deku but couldn't thank him in time given the circumstances. Then civilians who were from the previous chapter swooped in into Shindo's aid. They carried him and told Tatami to leave him to them. Tatami, while still taking of that masked hero who is Deku, she couldn't believe that was the same person from way back when. Afterwards, we see Deku dropping on Muscular in front of the police district. The police recognize Muscular, then before they could say anything else to Deku, he dips right away. Deku is bringing in the air while his danger sense is calming down. Soon later, a big reveal happens as Deku reaches out to his electronic device and says, "I'll be there, All Might," which goes to show that All Might and Deku are still in contact with each other. And in a dark alleyway, All Might is waiting there as Deku swoops in. All Might asks if he's injured, and Deku replies he's alright, as it shows Deku with a support item that is called the Power Stabilizing Mate Gauntlet. He's more tolerant to his power. All Might reminds him that this item is just a prototype to protect his arm. However, he's not capable of supporting Deku in his 100% power, to which All Might warns him not to overdo it until the big showdown. By big showdown, I think All Might's referring to either One For All or most likely Shigaraki. Anyway, Deku says yes to All Might, and soon later, All Might gets a phone call from Hawks. Hawks asks All Might how Deku's doing while him and other pro heroes are fighting this huge monster town. All Might tells Hawks he's doing fine and he's with him until Deku all of a sudden took off. All Might then replies never mind to Hawks' question. Hawks tells All Might that he's overprotective, saying that All Might is doing his best not to let anyone he knows get affected by what he's doing. Hawks asks All Might to work together on this, as Aurora broke into the Tartarus prison is really powerful, and being caught by them without anyone knowing is pretty high of a risk. Now, right after that phone call, there's been a time skip to the past. In the hospital room, we see Deku, who has woken up from his coma. We see his mom, All Might, and a doctor are in the room. As it was stated before from a doctor, claimed if Deku were to use his quirk again, he would not be able to move ever again. Thankfully, however, that wasn't the case this time, as predicted. As the doctor states in the past, Deku's injuries were internal. However, this time, most of the damage was done externally, and somehow from possibly Deku's quirk, his body internally was protective from the inside out, which made the injury sustainable and turned Deku's anatomy different. That said, a doctor asks him to be careful. After the doctor talks, Deku's mom asks All Might to explain to her about Deku's quirk, just as she asks that All Might prepares to tell her about One For All, as he says to himself, "I hope you're okay with this, young Midoriya." So All Might goes on to tell Deku's mom about the quirk and how it could be transferred to those without a quirk of their own. And that's because of this quirk, a lot of bad people are after this power. As Deku's mother holds Deku's hand, she asks what's next. All Might assures her that Deku will be protected if it's UA, but then Deku cuts him off, saying he won't go back to UA. Hearing that, All Might sees that Deku has made up his mind. Deku's mom says to her son, as tears begin to form in her eyes, saying his name. Deku explains his reasoning that Shigaraki can find his location at any time because of that. It wouldn't be unexpected if he launches an attack whatever Deku is. So Deku made up his mind since he doesn't want anyone to get hurt anymore, thinking back at his friends and mentors who were wounded badly during the war arc. Deku knows that Shigaraki perfect his body sooner or later, things will go from bad to worse. So to prevent that, Deku will stop Shigaraki and All For One. Even so, Deku's mother reminds him of the state he is in right now. Deku tells her that he will get stronger, but his mother brings up the time that she put her trust in him, but she doesn't want to approve of what Deku's plan is. Deku grips his mom's hand while his mother continues speaking, saying that she was so happy for him, remembering the great times when Deku played hero with her. She was happy then, but now she starts sobbing her eyes. Deku hugs his mom and comforts, telling her that he has to save more people, as Izuku might, which was his mom used to call him when Izuku wore the All Might suit as a kid. As Deku reassures his mom not to worry and he will come back. All Might seeing this brought upon a time when he begged from his knees to Deku's mom to have Deku continue UA. All Might got Deku's attention, saying if he tries to stop Deku, he will still leave. So All Might vows to help Deku in some sort of way, as he's seen crying for Deku. After that scene, he goes to the office building where Best Genius, Hawks, and Endeavor are discussing matters with each other. Best Genius tells Hawks and Endeavor that he's joining their plan, saying if they're using Deku as bait to track Shigaraki, they will need to be close by to support him if need be. Now back to the hospital, Deku visits Gran Torino, who's still recovering from his injuries. From what it seems, Deku told Gran Torino about Nana Shirimura, who is All Might's master and Shiraki's grandmother. As Deku tells Gran Torino about her, Gran Torino says, "Oh, crying in afterlife, eh?" Gran Torino says to himself he ain't dead yet, so he can't join where Nana is right now. On top of that, he tells Deku to not be stubborn on Deku's idea on saving Shiraki for him, to turn over a new leaf. Adding on that death can be a form of salvation too, he hands Deku his yellow worn out scarf. As we see, Deku has his sights on the threat of Shiraki and All For One with the help of the top 3 heroes Endeavor, Hawks, and the Best Genius, along with All Might, to repay the favor to the League of Villains as the manga chapter ends there. Damn, yo. Well, we now found out how Deku got into this predicament. Knowing the growing threat of Shiraki, Deku decides to play solos to protect the people he loves, and we know he's been in his journey for quite some time, since right now it's already been second year for class 1A students, and we now know that Deku hasn't been completely alone. We see that so far Deku has turned to a hero that he always wanted to be, but then as the story continues in his manga chapter, he decides to break away his ties with UA in order to hunt down Shiraki and supposedly help him, save him, doing it by his free will and his choice as a vigilante of some sort. And with now, of course, he's teamed up with the top 3 heroes and All Might so that Deku can confront Shiraki and All For One. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel if you want, and see y'all next time in the next video. Peace.